From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and welcome to the broadcast. Our top story, several interior cities felt significant seismic activity during Labor Day weekend, starting with a magnitude 5 earthquake Saturday. Reports from the Alaska Earthquake Information Center state that at approximately 7 p.m. Saturday, several interior residents felt an earthquake originating from a fault about 43 miles northwest of Fairbanks. The quake happened 10 miles east of Minto, the nearest community. Several other aftershocks were felt the next day, reaching up to magnitude 4 on the Richter scale. So far, no significant damage has been reported by any community in the interior. The Saturday quake is the 5th earthquake greater than magnitude 5 this year. An attorney representing the family of a slain couple has asked the Alaska candidates for U.S. Senate to quit running ads about the crimes. The attorney, Byron Collins, said that he's concerned about how all the publicity might affect the trial, which is scheduled for later this month. Friday, the campaign of Democrat Senator Mark Begich ran a commercial about a light sentence that suspected killer Jerry Active received before he was accused of killing an elderly couple and then sexually assaulting their great-granddaughter. The ad blamed Dan Sullivan because Sullivan was Attorney General at the time. The campaign for Sullivan responded with their own ad, calling Begich's commercial disgraceful, saying that the mistake which resulted in Active's release occurred before Sullivan was even in place. After the family's attorney contacted them, Sullivan said they would pull the ad. The Begich campaign agreed last Sunday evening, to alter the initial ad by taking out any reference to the Jerry Active case. They said that Sullivan is trying to distract people from his record as Attorney General of giving light sentences.
Today, the victim's family, through my office, contacted the office of Senator Mark Begich to demand removal of the recent political ad and also asked for consideration of their privacy as well as the rights of everyone in the ongoing criminal case.
Denali National Park is hosting its second Military Appreciation Day this month. The first one was in 2007. It's essentially an added day of road lotteries for military members. This year it will be on Tuesday, September 16th. The park provided 400 road passes to the Alaska Command, who would then distribute the passes through their channels.
We're very excited about it. It's our opportunity to recognize and thank these individuals for their contributions to the nation. We're just hopeful that the weather is going to cooperate because we'd like to have the whole 92-mile-long park road available for these folks for their visit on Tuesday the 16th.
Alaska state troopers say a 33-year-old Wasilla man was arrested Saturday for driving recklessly while severely intoxicated with 7 young children in his truck, and none of the children were wearing restraints. AP reports troopers saying in a statement that a motorist reported a driver they believed to be drunk in Wasilla at 8:43 p.m. Saturday. The troopers later pulled over a 1999 Ford F-350 truck driven by Kyle Thimson. Troopers say Thimson's license had been suspended before the incident. Thimson was arrested and charged with DUI, reckless driving, driving with license suspended, and 7 counts of first-degree endangering of the welfare of a child, as well as 7 counts of reckless endangerment. The ages of the children involved and their relationship to Thimson were unclear. And Mike Schultz joins us now with our first look at weather. And Mike, you said there's a big storm heading for us.
Yeah, it's a pretty good-sized storm, Daryl. We're talking about this storm that could definitely have a lot of results happening tonight. In fact, it's going to be back a big wallop. I talked to the National Weather Service today, and they say this storm will have several dangerous ingredients with it.
Expecting 1.5 to 2 inches of rain by tomorrow morning. That's going to start bringing the rivers up, and we plan to issue a flood watch for the upper Chena River later today. I think we're going to see winds rapidly increasing late tonight, probably southwest winds 20 to 30 miles an hour at the in the valley locations with some gusts up to 40.
Wow, that's amazing.
One other thing we have to remind folks is that hunters going out, you have to watch out for the heavy snow, the gusty winds, the rising streams. It's all going to be happening, especially around the Brooks Range, Coldfoot, the 2,000-foot level above.
Yeah.
They're looking for 6 to 14 inches of snow in the Denali Park area.
Yeah.
So this is a big monster storm. We'll tell you more about it later on when we come back with weather.
Hits just keep coming.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike. When we come back, today was the observance of Labor Day 2014, and the town turned out for a wet annual parade.
And at the end of the parade, they were waiting with food and fun at Pioneer Park. Stay with us.
And welcome back. Labor Day was adopted by Congress as a national holiday in 1894, though the first Labor Day celebration dates back to the early 1880s in New York City. Today marked the 30th Labor Day Parade and picnic here in Fairbanks. Jamie Schwartzwald has the story.
Longtime Teamster Bill Ackerman founded the Golden Heart City's Labor Day Parade in 1985.
Came around and said, we're going to have a Labor Day Parade. Everybody said, well, Bill, that's hunting season. It'd be a nice idea. I don't think we can do it. And Bill said, well, there's going to be one. And he put together a rank and file committee, and it's been going strong ever since.
Today's version of the parade begins at the Noel Ween Library, runs along Airport Way, and finishes at Pioneer Park. Several local union organizations marched despite temperatures hovering in the mid-40s and threatening skies. They marched in honor of the labor movement and the men and women who helped build the 49th state.
We recognize the hard work done generation before us, and that is making sure we have an 8-hour workday, making sure we have good benefits, good wages, and uplifting the middle class.
Today to come out and recognize all the working men and women around the state, whether they belong to a union or not. It's to show community support, let the community know how many union households and how many union members are out here supporting the community.
A common theme among the 200 to 300 who marched in today's parade was Vote Yes on 3. Ballot Measure 3, which appears on the November 4th general election ballot in Alaska, looks to raise the state's minimum wage in $1 increments to $9.75 an hour by January of 2016. Ed Flanagan chairs Alaskans for a Fair Minimum Wage, the group that got the initiative on the ballot.
Building our Alaska Needs a Raise coalition, we've got support from numerous churches across the spectrum, from the Alaska Federation of Natives, from the NAACP. So folks are going to be hearing the message that Alaska needs a raise.
Anybody that's spent any amount of time at all in Fairbanks knows the cost of living here, and it's a very sad thing when you've got a two-family household that they're both working minimum wage and they still struggle at the end of the month to be able to get their bills paid.
Passage of the initiative would also inflation-proof Alaska's minimum wage and keep it at $1 above the federal minimum. Senator Mark Baggett supports a federal minimum wage of $10.10 an hour, a wage he feels small business can support.
I believe so. I mean, I'm a small business owner. My wife is a small business owner. We've always paid above minimum wage. Minimum wage is important because raising the minimum wage will get people to follow what the markets are going in the sense of their inflation adjustment.
Jamie Schwartzwald reporting on Labor Day.
As participants in the Labor Day Parade entered Pioneer Park, they were greeted with hamburgers, hot dogs, and other appetizing treats. The coordination of this event would not have been possible without all the volunteers to cook the burgers and dogs, unload chips and sodas, put up tents, provide music, and a number of other jobs that make this celebration successful. Once again, it was a great demonstration of workers coming together to pay tribute to a special holiday for the nation and for the state.
We've all joined here yesterday at 4 o'clock, set up the tents, brought in some of the bigger stuff, and then left for the night and got together again this morning at 7:30. You know, we have about 20 affiliates, and all of the labor unions each participated. Everyone was assigned a task. We've been working on this since early July.
The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals announced Friday that it would rehear the Tongass roadless rule exemption case. The roadless rule was established more than a decade ago, but the Tongass was granted an exemption. A lawsuit challenging that exemption was filed in 2009 by a coalition of conservation groups and the organized village of Cake. A federal judge agreed with the petitioners, but the state of Alaska appealed that decision to the Ninth Circuit. In March, a 3-judge panel of the appeals court issued an opinion that the roadless rule should not apply to Alaska's Tongass National Forest. But Friday's announcement states that the full 11-judge panel will now review the case. An Alaska state panel created to increase the consumption and purchase of local farm products and wild seafood has scheduled a meeting this week in Fairbanks. The Alaska Food Resource Working Group is seeking testimony from the meat processing industry at the meeting taking place from 10 a.m. to noon on Wednesday. Members of the group include representatives of 8 state agencies. The group is led by the State Department of Natural Resources and was created to recommend policies and measures. The meeting is open to the public and will be held in the conference room of the Fairbanks Regional Public Health Center. And coming up in sports, we'll have a weekend recap, another I-5 interior top 5 plays. But first out of the break, Joe has one local player who may have just put his name in the state football history books. Find out all that and more with Joe next.
Hello, Interior Alaska. Welcome to the KTVF Sportscast. Joe Cook here, and happy Labor Day. We start with one of the biggest blowouts you'll ever hear about, and it was highlighted by a tremendous performance. Saturday morning, the Allison Ravens dismantled the Vosnesenka Cougars 77-0 on Buck Nystrom Field. Running back Tony Griffith, coming back from a thigh injury that sidelined him last week, showed that he was feeling just fine. Griffith ran for 424 yards and 7 touchdowns on 11 carries. He crossed the goal line 5 times in the first quarter. His touchdowns were all 25-plus yards, including scores of 74, 61, and 54 yards. That's 38 yards per carry, folks. This running showcase is the second most rushing yards in a single game in Alaska high school football history. Last year, Kenai's Jace Daniels ran for 488 yards and 7 touchdowns in a win over Nikiski. The previous documented state record was a 395-yard game by Dominic Maddox of Service back in 1999. After the Ravens shutout victory, Allison is 3-0 overall and 2-0 in the Greatland Conference. They face Nikiski at Nikiski this Saturday. But unfortunately, the Monroe Rams were on the other end of a blowout on Saturday against those Nikiski Bulldogs. It was a rematch of last year's small school state championship. The Bulldogs, ranked 4th in the ASBN polls, didn't leave this one in question, scoring within the first 2 minutes of the game. Senior running back Nico Castro punches through the heart of the Rams defense to increase the Bulldog lead before a Rams fumble that handed the ball right back to the visitors. Christian Riddell gets a short carry for a touchdown, and Nikiski is just rolling. Castro ran for 151 yards and 2 scores on 8 carries. Nikiski quarterback Cade Anderson threw 2 scores as well. The Bulldogs led 27-0 at the end of the first half and went on to win 40-0. Nikiski is 3-0 and 1-0 on the Greatland. Monroe drops to 0-3. Well, see how the game results from week 3 will have an effect on the newest polls. We'll break all those down tomorrow, the new ASBN football polls. Now, a couple of Interior 4A volleyball teams almost won titles in early season tournaments over the weekend. The North Pole Patriots were runner-ups in the double elimination Cordova Invitational. The Patriots went 9-3 in pool play and went up against Valdez in the finals. The Pats won the first game, but the Bucks won the next 2 to win the match and the title. The Bucks' only loss was to North Pole during that pool play. And McKinley Putnam and Paige Shimura were all tournament picks for North Pole. Now, the West Valley Wolfpack got second place in the silver bracket of the Chugiak Invitational. The Wolfpack went 3-7 in pool play, but made it to the finals against Wasilla. The Warriors got the win, though, 23-25, 12-25. West Valley would finish 10th overall. South Anchorage won the tournament. And as we do on Mondays for the weekend recap during the school year, here's another edition of the I-5 Interior Top 5 Plays. At number 5, Cheyenne Diebert of the Lathrop Malamute serves one of her 8 aces in Lathrop's home opening sweep of the Delta Junction Huskies on Tuesday night. At number 4, the Lathrop boys and girls sweep the cross-country Interior Invitational on Saturday. The boys had 5 runners in the top 10 and the girls had 4 in the top 10 to take the victory. At number 3, the Hutchinson Hawks volleyball team gets a couple of clutch kills from Michaela Hayren and Angel Ochoa in the third set comeback against the Lathrop Malamutes on Thursday. The Hawks would sweep Lathrop. At number 2, the West Valley Wolfpack swim team sweeps the Lathrop Invitational at the Hammy Pool. Senior Ryan Nicholson and junior Angie Randall led the Wolfpack, winning 5 events. And at number 1, Anthony Griffith's record-setting day. Griffith rushed for 424 yards and 7 touchdowns on just 11 carries and a 77-0 win over Vosnesenka on Saturday. Reportedly, it's the second most rushing yards in a single game in Alaska high school football history. To select the play of the week, go to the KTVF Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter pages, comment on the post, or email Joe Cook at ktvf11.com for your pick. The play of the week will be revealed this Friday.
The I-5 Sports Report is brought to you by Adient Orthopedic Physical Therapy.
Now we end with a reminder about the Pro Football Challenge. You have until Thursday's kickoff to sign up for this year's Pick'em. The NFL season opens with Green Bay at Seattle this Thursday at 4:30 Alaska time. You'll be going up against our new guy, Austin Buchanan, Mike Schultz, and myself, and of course the rest of the Interior. Now last season, Mike Schultz won the KTVF title, if you will, so I'm looking for some payback. Weekly winners receive oil changes courtesy of Stanley Nissan, and this year's grand prize is a generator from Outpost Alaska. For all new and past players, you do have to sign up for a new account. It's the same game, but upgraded. You can see stats and everything. It looks pretty nice. It's quick and easy, so just go to the contest page on webster11.com to sign up. And that's it for sports tonight, but more tomorrow on high school swimming and cross country. Now Mike Schultz is next with an important weather forecast with info on the storm hitting the Interior, so stay with us.
Hey everyone, welcome back into the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again talking weather. We had a cold weekend, very chilly temperatures right around the 30-degree mark. And now today we're getting ourselves a pretty good storm. We'll show you about that, all about that in just a little bit. Right now, let's take a look at our photograph for tonight. This was taken by Val Larson. He was able to capture a sunset over Dredge number 6 in Nome, Alaska. Look at the colors. Again, very vivid, beautiful colors. And as always, if you have a photograph to share, by all means, send it to photos@ktbf11.com. Here's your numbers, and you can see our numbers looking at high of 62. Normally, today's high only 49. The normal low 42. Last night's low 33. Record high 80 in 1963. And the normal low, record low, as I say, was 17 in 1922, 14 hours and 30 minutes of daylight, a loss of 7 minutes from yesterday. Okay, here's what it looks like on the satellite and radar. The frontal boundary, really well-defined, sharp edge right there. That shows you there's a really solid cold push of air going here, and also coming off the Bering Sea, bringing all that moisture with it, and it's just slamming into the Fairbanks area. Our latest satellite and radar out of the picture, we'll look at the latest radar in the Fairbanks area. Look how dark the blue is. That's the heavy rain moving in on the Fairbanks area as we speak, and no end in sight as it continues to come in from the west. We're expecting that to continue all night long, and like I said, close to 2 inches of rain expected. Elsewhere across the map, we see mainly cloudy to partly cloudy skies over southeast Alaska, mainly cloudy skies around the Anchorage Bull, sunshine over the Kodiak region, cloudy skies up and down the west coast, 38 at Barrow, partly cloudy skies. And the lower 48 weather, look how clear it is out to the west. Oh, beautiful weather there, lots of clear skies. More storms moving across the Central Plains. And otherwise, we're looking at activity moving across the Great Lakes too. Tomorrow, looks like the hot temperature is going to continue over the desert southwest, much of the southwest, because the jet stream, again, is way up to the north, allowing all that warm air to come up from the south, and also humid conditions over the eastern half of the country. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. Here's what it looks like in the northern sections. Snow showers for Barrow, rainy conditions at Fort Yukon, a few clouds in Nome. And over the interior, we'll be looking at rain showers ending in the Fairbanks and Delta area. Rain still hanging around with maybe some mixed snow in the Healy area. Over southeast sections, looking at cloudy skies at Juneau, partly cloudy for Ketchikan, while out to the southwest, for the most part, mostly sunny skies for Cold Bay and Kodiak, but a chance of rain in the Bethel area. And down around the Anchorage Bull, looking at mainly cloudy skies at Anchorage, partly cloudy at Homer, and also Kodiak Island. And it is a week off for the kids because they're having today off, and we thought we'd give you some weather facts. So our weather fact for today is in 1897, Washington County, Iowa had 6-foot-high hailstone drifts. Amazing. And next week we'll resume, I should say, our kids' weather watch once again with the kids from Arctic Light Elementary School. As always, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring the kids' weather program. Okay, here's your forecast for tonight. 42 degrees, periods of heavy rain, and the gusty winds are going to continue to wrap up and get even stronger as the midnight hour approaches. And we're looking at that to continue into tomorrow morning. And then good news, rain should be diminishing by afternoon, 52 degrees. The 5-day outlook, looking at temperatures right around the low to mid-50s, and then warming back up again to 60 degrees by Sunday. And the rain showers should be ending after Wednesday, so mainly just partly cloudy to clear skies. All in all, not too bad. We just got to get through the next couple of days, guys, without this heavy rain and the streams rising, and also the snow at the higher elevations, down to 2,000 feet. Possible by tomorrow night.
That's amazing. Snow, rain, earthquake.
Earthquakes. Yes, big thing over the weekend.
It is not the apocalypse. It's not the apocalypse.
Right.
No.
That was crazy.
Yeah, and hopefully this rain won't affect too many outdoor sports right now.
Yeah, I know the tennis team's trying to get in some matches tomorrow. They go out around 4 and 5 o'clock at the Dan Ramras Community Courts at Northwell High School. It'll be out by that time.
I think so. It could look good. This front's moving through pretty fast, so it might even be done by morning.
Okay, cool. Just got to make it through the night. Sounds
exactly.
Good. All right, thank you, Mike. That will wrap up this edition of our news. We are glad you could join us.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
Going to leave you tonight with more scenes from the parade today. From all of us here at the News Center, have a good night. We like you.